I don't care who you are, what you do with your spare time, or what your experiences are. I bet you guys all hate traffic. Isn't that right?
Yep.
I hate traffic. Whenever I'm in traffic, as I'm sitting there losing my life, I just think it's a waste of so many things. It's a waste of my energy. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of my gas. It's a waste of my money to pay for the gas. But what if I told you guys that soon traffic will no longer be a waste? As of just this past May, California has implemented a new experimental energy program called piezoelectronic generators, which will be put into their highways and will actually generate electricity based off of the traffic. Of course, this idea sounds kind of outlandish and it doesn't really make any kind of sense as far as, because it's new, no one's really heard of it. So this speech, my goal is to inform you why we need alternative energy in the first place, the concept behind piezoelectronic generators, and examples throughout the world that we can see this being used today. So to start off, to power our cars and most of our power needs in the most part, is fossil fuels, which are crude oil generated from organic materials such as fossils, hence the name fossil fuels. There's two problems with this so far. One is that when we burn these fossil fuels, it gives off harmful carbon emissions and they get trapped in the atmosphere, known as the greenhouse effect, which plays a key part in the rising of our global temperatures as well as the sea levels. So we're seeing this climate change that is caused a lot by fossil fuels. Another problem with it is that we don't have enough of it. We don't have enough of these fossil fuels. Ravjit Kaur in 2016 writes an article about piezoelectronic roads, and it's found that as humanity has grown over time, we have consumed 100,000 times the amount of energy that is being regenerated. So we have way more of a need for energy than actual energy that we have. So there's obviously an issue with we need to develop some kind of energy source. Of course, you've heard of the alternative energy sources such as wind power and solar power. And these kind of alternative energy sources are renewable and are able to fuel our energy needs more efficiently. The Union of Concerned Scientists writes that if we were to switch over to renewable energy sources, 81% of our electricity-related emissions would be gone completely. And we would be able to get 118 times more energy than we would with fossil fuels. So there's an efficiency and a renewability that is great about these alternative energies. As the speech is titled, one of these more experimental alternative energy sources is piezoelectronic generators. You're probably wondering, what exactly are these things? You've probably never heard of them. Priyanshu Kumar in 2013 writes a great explanation of how they work. Basically, when a car drives over a road, the weight of the car, in addition to the force of the engine, compresses and deforms the asphalt of the road. So the asphalt in the road is receiving some kind of energy that's just kind of being lost. What these generators hope to do is harness this energy. They do this through, inside these generators, they have these things called piezoelectronic crystals. And these crystals, when they're compressed, give off a shock of voltage. So these generators, the force from the car absorbed into the asphalt is stored in these generators, either being sent directly to the infrastructure of the city, the power grid, to power stuff like street lights, stoplights, etc., or they're stored in batteries to be used similar to solar power, like flashlights and stuff. So it's a very new form of technology. Of course, California, in order to use this source of energy, they need to have cars. Of course, California realizes this because they have a ridiculous traffic issue. Laura J. Nelson in the LA Times 2015 finds that the average person in LA will spend per year 81 hours in traffic, much more than anywhere else in the rest of the country. California realizes this, and this is why they have chosen to adopt a method that involves their traffic. Of course, they wouldn't invest in this source of energy if it wasn't effective. Fortunately, we have found that it is effective, as we found through multiple examples that I'm about to explain. Debian Poll in 2015 describes many of these various sources. One of which is there's a couple clubs in the Netherlands that the dance floors harness the vibration of the dancing, and this vibration goes into these generators and powers the rest of the club. This similar technology was implemented in Tokyo in Yaesu North Gate in 2008, and they found that they could generate enough power to power the whole station for the day, and then some, just from the vibration of people walking through the ticket gate area. On a larger, more relevant note, Innowatek, a company in Israel, developed a 1 kilometer stretch of highway with these generators, and they found that if 600 vehicles were to pass over these generators, then they could power 600 to 800 homes completely just with the highway alone. So if this was implemented all throughout California, and maybe through the rest of the country, we could get a source of alternative renewable energy that would be ultimately beneficial for our society. Of course, because of this, California is incredibly eager to implement this. So in addition to it being a good source of much-needed alternative energy, we're harnessing this part of our country that really hasn't been tapped into as far as energy concerns. We have a system of highways going over the entire country. So in order for California to capitalize on this, they realize that this is very important and could be a long-term, very important investment. So maybe 20 years from now, as you're sitting in traffic, you may still be wasting time, but at least you're not wasting energy. Thank you.